Ahoy VC, welcome to the Personal Oasis. This is the Blind Island, and today we are going to be continuing the top 100 favorite albums in our collection. We've already hit the 100 subscribers goal. Thank you so very much. And I announced a couple of days ago our Personal Oasis contest. Already have a couple of entries. Chris Coffy from Musically Obsessed and Elliot Cruz have joined in on the contest. Thank you so much, you guys. I look forward to just seeing more of your content and just really cool stuff that you guys included. Go and check out their videos. They're included in a playlist that I have on our channel. Now, I want to say, feel free to join. I'm going to be including a link to the contest in the description below. But now we're going to get on to the main event, our top 100 countdown. Let's continue on. At number 60, I have Jesus and Mary Chain, Psycho Candy. This is so freaking good. I love this album. I included in the description below a link to my very first review on this channel, which was for this album. And for very good reason. It's one that I constantly return to. It sounds like the Beach Boys were fed through a feedback machine built by the Velvet Underground. It is full of romance with an abrasive edge to it. It's like a heart covered in barbed wire. I love that they wear their bleeding hearts right on their sleeves. And it's one of those albums that you can put on and be romantic, but also pump your fist to. I think that it's a perfect amalgamation of two genres that usually don't necessarily go together. And I think that people are really going to love what they hear in this record when they listen to it. So give it a listen if you haven't, and I'm sure that many of you have. At number 59, I have David Bowie's Low. This is the first in David Bowie's Berlin trilogy, and despite the title and the dark subject matter that's covered in here, this was the beginning of David Bowie's renaissance. It was built literally at David Bowie's lowest point, and he was beginning to kind of sober up, return to a sense of normal, and through his process of just becoming clear-headed, he actually became prescient and predicted the future of music. And in some ways, we still haven't caught up to this day. He is just throwing out ideas that were light years ahead of the curve. And I love listening to this and still being taken away with bated breath as he continues to swirl around the ears with his crunching guitars and simmering keyboard licks. It's gorgeous. Brian Eno's production value on here is top grade and top tier. I love this album. The rock tracks are incredible. The instrumental tracks are incredible. It's just incredible. So you should definitely give this one a listen. It's a highlight in a career full of highlights. And at number 57, and what we have playing on the Personal Oasis right now, is New Order's Power, Corruption, and Lies. This was a tough battle between this album and another that I really love by New Order, Brotherhood, but this one eked it out because I believe that it's just a little bit tighter. The tracks go together so very well. It rarely lags, and it takes what Joy Division had and brings it into a danceable, shimmering light. I love how beautiful this album is, and I know that some people aren't a huge fan of Bernard Sumner's vocals, but I love them. I think that they have this innocent naivety to them, and I really relate to this record. I continue to relate, and it takes a lot of dark subject matters and filters it through this really danceable rock beat. I think that they really were forebears of house music and people who really like to have a solid electronic beat underneath the proceedings of their songs, and it's just an amazing album. It's great. Listen to it. It's as simple as that. At number 57, I have John Lee Hooker, It Serves You Right to Suffer. At this point in the list, as we get closer to the 50s, the numbers truly do become arbitrary, because this album could easily be within my top 10. It's so good. Recorded for the Impulse label, which was primarily known for its jazz. It was the house that Train built. In fact, this album was featured in a great video by the Jazz Shepherd, 10 albums from the Impulse label. I'll include a link to that video in the description below, because he's a great channel and you should be following him if you don't. But I love this record. I think that it is everything that I love about the blues. His voice is silky smooth, but sounds as though it's been lived in 1,000 years. And the song selection on here, mwah, just gorgeous. He's surrounded by amazing musicians who are usually have a more jazz slant, but he takes them and bends them to his will. That's how powerful John Lee Hooker is. And another thing that I love about this album is just the artwork. I mean, Impulse had the best gatefolds, the best sleeves. I love all of the information that's included in here, and that orange and black spine. It just, every time I see it, it sends chills up my spine. Ha, get it? It's a pun. And I think, I'm gonna maybe ruffle some feathers here, but I'm more of an Impulse guy than a Blue Note guy. And this is an album that deserves to be in any aficionado of the blues, jazz, or music in general. And at number 56, I have Roy Ayers' Coffy. This was the soundtrack to the Pam Grier starring vehicle, Coffy, and man, does this album slap. It is so funky, so fresh, so groovy and cheesy. It's everything that you would want in a funk album from the 70s, rolled into one wonderful package. You want to take this album, throw it on, and just blast it as loud as you can, open all the windows in your house, and you know that you're going to be the coolest person on your block, because you know what this record is. Roy Ayers is a vibraphone player, excuse me. And I'm not a huge vibes guy, but man, when he plays, he makes it sound like the sexiest instrument alive. He's grooving, he's flying up and down those keys so fast, and it just sounds like a funky, groovy time. There's so many great tracks on here, but honestly, I love the first track that just starts this off. Coffee is the color. So great. You're going to love this album. It's going to hook you, and it's going to make you feel good, which is definitely a record that I think would be helpful for a lot of people in the times that we have now. So guys, what did you think of our list? Was there anything on here that you didn't recognize, you do recognize? Let me know in the comments below. And feel free to join in the Personal Oasis contest. I'd love to have as many people in as possible. We're giving away lots of great prizes. And I hope that you all have a great day on your own Personal Oasis. God bless and take care.